What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Revival. My name is JJ. Let's rank some Dragon Quest games. Alright, so this is actually, somebody had given me the idea on my Dragon Quest XI review video that I need to rank them. And I thought that was a fantastic idea, because I have been, those of you that have been with me for a while, and even those of you that have not been with me for that long, might know because I've mentioned it a couple of times. I've been playing through the Dragon Quest series from the beginning to kind of like see the evolution and everything, and I started that journey maybe 3-4 years ago, and I've kind of slowly been working my way through year by year, playing all the games. And now that I've finished them all, finally, I love the series. It's great. I have talked, previously about my history with it or lack thereof, so I'm not going to delve too much into that. But now that I have played all through them and seen where the series is now, and I just love it. It's great. So I thought it was a fantastic idea to go ahead and rank the games, because I love ranking stuff. Who doesn't? Really? Come on, it's great. I would do that on the Final Fantasy series, but that would take so many videos to do. So basically I'm going to do, this will probably be split up into 2 videos because I tend to get long-winded, as some of you know. I will do the first 5 games in this video, and then I will do the other 5 games in next week's video. I'm only doing, obviously, 1 through 9 and 11, because 10 is the MMO, and it's only in Japan. I've never played it, so I don't have any experience with that one. But these are all the mainline games that came out in the US. There goes a running cat upstairs. Okay. These are just the mainline games that came out in the US. And so we'll just go there and let's take it from the top. All right. So, and I'm also going to have the versions that I played of each one. So some of these, like Dragon Quest VIII, which I have on PS2 but finished on the 3DS, and same with Dragon Quest VII. I have it on PS1, but I finished it on the 3DS. Both of those or DS, whatever. I'm going to show you basically the versions that I played when I, hold them up, talk about them. So the first game, which is number 10 on my list, and I want to also preface this by saying none of these games are bad. I had a really good time with all of them. They all have very strong points, and I really, really enjoyed my time with them. So this isn't so my number 10 is the first one in the series, Dragon Quest I, or Dragon Warrior, I guess, in the States. And quite frankly, I thought it was great. I played it on this dual pack here, which comes with Dragon Warrior 1 and 2. They were re-released on the Game Boy Color, but originally on the NES. I think I had the first one on the NES, but not the second one. I really liked it. I'll be honest, the reason that I had put off playing the series for so long mainly had to do with, growing up in the 80s and 90s and being introduced to Dragon Quest back then with Dragon Warrior, and just being like, this is really slow paced, and I'm just wandering around fighting monsters, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I was a dumb little kid. Now I'm older, but I'm just dumb. But it just kind of turned me off because I didn't really know what I was doing. I had never really played an RPG at that point. I was just completely in the dark and lost, and because of that stuck with me in my mind as that's a game that is just too complex for you and you'll never get it. And for some reason that just made me not want to try it until many years later when I finally tried Dragon Quest VIII on PS2. Which, the only reason I tried that was because it came with a demo for Final Fantasy XII. So, yeah, anyway. But Dragon Warrior 1, honestly, the main reason, because I like the story, I like the gameplay, I like the world, it's mainly just because, it's the first iteration and you only get one character. I love party-based games. I love having an adventure to go on with these other characters that you're hanging out with and getting to know and playing with and stuff. And in the first game, you just didn't have that. I still loved it, and it was really, really just cool to go through such an important piece in gaming history, and hearing the music and seeing all these the birth of these classic monster designs and everything, and it was just really, really cool. I don't know that I'll ever necessarily go back to it, but it is cool to be able to say that I finished that game. And man, I will say again, kudos to anybody who never had to use a guide to finish it, because man, that game, it does not hold your hand at all. And so I completely understand why little kid me was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and just kind of bailed on it. So, but now I enjoyed the hell out of it. If I do go back to it, it'll be with probably the updated versions on the Switch that came out, because those, I think, look kind of cool. So, we'll see at some point. Yeah. And then coming in at number 9 is the second one in the series, Dragon Warrior 2 or Dragon Quest 2. And honestly, it's kind of a lot of the same reasons as the first game. The main reason it's one step higher, though, is because you actually do get 2 party members. Your characters don't have a lot of personality in those original games. You're just kind of like, you're filling in the blanks in your own head as to what these characters are doing and talking about as they're going through their adventure. It's more about the exploration and fighting monsters, getting stronger, and just saving the world. But basically, you're a heroic knight, and then you've got your healing magic user and your damage dealer magic user. And it's super basic, but it was a really, really nice step up from the first game, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I was really excited to keep going on with the series, especially if, each game was going to improve upon the previous ones, and quite frankly, in a lot of cases, it did. So, alright, coming in at number 8 is jumping all the way forward to Dragon Quest 9 on the DS. And honestly, it wasn't because I didn't like it, and that I had a bad time with it or anything like that. It was more just because the series had started to develop a personality. You would have these, you play games like 4 and 5, and they just 8 especially, you get to know these characters because they have amazing personalities, and they just come alive from the game, and you really get to know your party and your adventuring companions, and it's just, everything feels so alive and real. And this game, while in concept, I think I understand what they were trying to do. They really wanted to give more, I think they were trying to do 2 things. One, they were trying to give more imagination back to the player, to where you can kind of put your own self into the party and come up with personality traits for them and everything like that. Because you design your entire cast of characters in this. You design the main character, you design which party members you want, pick their jobs and everything. But again, they don't have personalities. They're not written into the game specifically and that kind of thing. The other thing I think they really were trying to do with this game is push the multiplayer aspect. I don't know if, I didn't play this until years after it came out, so I don't know if when this came out it was widely popular and tons of people were playing it online and stuff. That might be the case. I didn't have anybody to play with, and honestly, I talked to a couple of people who said they might be interested in playing it with me, but I just don't know that they would have been able to keep up with me playing it. And I'm not saying that as I'm so good at this. It's just this was on my list of 20 games for the year, and for that year, and I really wanted to just get through it and get done, because I really wanted to get to 11, quite frankly. And as soon as I started to realize there's no personality in the party members and everything, I was just kind of oh, so what am I getting invested in here? It was just kind of, it is what it is. And so I think if I had played with anybody else, I would have just kind of been playing more often to try and get through it, rather than them not being able to stick with me on there, and going forward. I think it's a cool concept. I just don't think, for me personally, the experience wasn't as good as some of the other games in the series. I still had fun with it, and I love, job systems in any game, quite frankly. And this one had a great one. Character design system. You get to design your own, basically Dragon Ball Z looking character, Akira Toriyama. I thought that was great. I thought it was super, super pretty to look at. It was a fun game, absolutely. I just think that the ones that, not all of them, but most of the ones that came before it were better. And definitely the ones that came after it. So, one that came after it. So yeah, Dragon Quest IX. Coming at number 7 is Dragon Warrior 3, which I played the re-release on the Game Boy. And Game Boy Color. Either way. I think Game Boy Color. I can't tell from this. I'll have the box art here, so I think it is Game Boy Color though. But this game, again, like following the line of 1 and 2, how they were steps up from each other, this did the same thing. Gave you another party member to have, and kind of like in the same vein as Dragon Quest IX, you got to choose your entire party of characters, and they all had their own specific jobs that you could choose from and mix and match, and I really liked that. I loved going from 1 to 2 to 3, and you'll see 4 and 5, every game got better than the last one, and I thought that was so cool. And I was like, man, this series just keeps getting better and better. It's awesome. I love it. And this game was a real pleasure to play through. I honestly don't remember too much about the story. I just remember more of the gameplay, and it's like that with the earlier games when the characters don't have as much personality. And that's kind of why I tend to lean that way when I'm ranking these things. So it is what it is. But yeah, Dragon Warrior 3, solid game. And then at number 6, we have Dragon Quest VI, Realms of Revelation. I played it on the DS. Quite frankly, this was the first time in the series when I played it, and I thought they were kind of taking a bit of a step back. And that was mainly just because I remember the story just not being bad. I don't remember too much about the cast of characters, but I remember just getting to a point where I was like, okay, this needs to end. Like, we are just tons of filler, and it's kind of just getting boring at this point. Not that it was a bad game. There was a lot to like, and I loved the going back and forth between the two worlds. And it was a lot of fun. The gameplay, gameplay is standard. That's another thing I love about these games is they don't switch things up too much. And I had a good time with it, but unfortunately I did think it was a step back from Dragon Quest V. And I was a little bit disappointed in that regard, but it mainly came down to the pacing issues and just how much the game dragged on after going through it, but still a solid game nonetheless. So there you have it. There's the first 5 in my top 10, well, my ranking of the Dragon Quest, mainline Dragon Quest series. Stay tuned next week for part 2. We'll dive into it and let me know what you think. If any of these deserve to be higher on the list, let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. And as always, keep on gaming.